Before this video starts, I just want to say a few things real quick. This is the second video of a new series that I'm doing where I'll be checking out other Call of Duty zombies in the year 2020. I will link the other video in the description if you want to check it out. In that one, we revisit Black Ops 3 in 2020. These videos are going to be broken up into different parts. This is where I revisit old CODs, but also I want to break down its history, the maps, the gameplay, etc. Do bear in mind that I only own 2 maps in this game, them being Zombies in Spaceland and Raven the Redwood. So everything else you see is not mine. I will link everybody's YouTube and the other videos in the description. Lastly, be sure to subscribe. I don't really want to say it right now since if you're new here, you haven't really had a good reason to subscribe unless my intro has you convinced. But anyway, it's free to subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, and also, I got a new mic, so if I sound better, that's pretty good, considering my other mic sucked pretty bad. Okay, so, Infinite Warfare. This game, basically isn't very well received by the COD community. Hell, some consider it to be the worst COD ever made. And all the hate started from the day the announcement trailer dropped. The main reason the game got so much hate was due to the fact that it not only didn't get rid of jetpacks, but also it was a massive shit show with space and robots. The game officially released on the 4th of November in 2016. I think the only reason this game sold reasonably well was because it launched with the remaster of Modern Warfare. And I guess you could say the zombies made it too. You see, the zombies in Infinite Warfare was the second time another COD company apart from Treyarch has attempted the zombies game mode, and in my opinion they did a great job. Before we get into their opinions on why and other things, I want to quickly go over the maps and the story of the game. With the launch of Infinite Warfare, we got only one zombie map, that being of course Zombies in Spaceland. This was a new take on zombies, mainly being more cartoony and quirky, which was a nice change from the gory aspect of Treyarch and Sledgehammer zombies. In this map, they added many new and original things like donating money, explosive clowns instead of dogs, or having a famous celebrity in the map helping you out. Having multiple cool and different wonder weapons. Overall in 2020, this map is great to come back. It's basically the same good old fun map that you can just go and vibe on, I guess. DLC 1 introduces us to Raven the Redwoods. This was a different map compared to the other one, but Raven the Redwoods isn't anything special in my opinion. The only difference is that you don't start off with an actual starting pistol, so you have to go around looking for melee weapons or actually buying a weapon. So that's kind of a cool thing they added. Brought back the celebrity thing they had in Zombies in Spaceland, but in this it was the man himself, Silent Bob, Kevin Smith, which is a highlight of the map in my opinion since I love Clerks, Jay and Silent Bob. I think that's what it's called, since I always confuse the J and the Bob in the name. It doesn't matter. Another thing they tried to do in this map is basically the Call of Duty Treyarch version of staffs and bows, but in this they were crossbows instead of bows. So basically they were bows with upgrades that were basically like crossbows, bows. Also in this they had like Sasquatches instead of dogs. I guess that's also kind of cool. DLC 2 brought Shaolin Shuffle. From here, I can only say what I kind of know about the map since I don't own any of the upcoming maps. So Shaolin Shuffle takes place in New York City, Chinatown, and it heavily concentrates on Kung Fu. Its wonder weapons are actually cool because instead of the weapon itself, it's Kung Fu moves. I said Kung Fu. The plot of it is okay. There's zombies on roller skates and Rat King. DLC 3 gave us Attack on the Radioactive thing. This map is pretty creative because when you start off, it is black and white, and to get it to color, you have to actually go around the map and turn on the power. There are these weird, wrinkly alien monsters that are instead of dogs and an okay wonder weapon. Boss in this is a massive crab who has a nuke in him. Honestly, it's a funky and crazy map like the other ones, and I think it's the one that I would like to get the most. DLC 4 map was Beast from Beyond. In here we got a fan favorite comeback of the ugly aliens from Extinction in COD Ghost. Personally, I didn't get too attached to COD Ghost and especially that game mode. Nothing against it. I know there's that portion that like it, so I don't want to mess with you, but Beast from Beyond was the last and final map we have currently ever gotten in Infinity Ward's zombie story, because honestly there were some pretty nice twists and turns in the zombie story that I would like to see more. And actually, speaking of story, so not to make this video extremely long, I want to go through this as easy and as fast as possible to not confuse a lot of you. So, in Zombies in Spaceland intro, we learned that these 4 characters come to an audition at a theater to audition for a movie that was being made by a retired director who is making a big comeback, his name being Willard Wyler. But what they didn't know was that they fell into a trap where they were going to be sucked into a movie of and basically die so that they can be sacrificed to some devil. When they get sucked into these worlds, they basically become the characters that are in the movie. Turns out they defeat the map and end up getting teleported to another to die again. Turns out they defeat the map and get some kind of key, which they end up getting in every single different map that they get put into to die and die and die, yada yada yada, map after map and after map, and then they end up in Beast from Beyond, where they defeat the boss and escape the movie. They end up throwing Willard Wyler into zombies in Spaceland, trapping him and trying to escape, but unfortunately it turns out that they are actually trapped in the theater. Then a mysterious figure appears who resembles the god himself, Lee Ross, and they end up fighting him, who turns out to be the devil that wanted their souls. After they defeat him, it turns out that Willard Wyler has escaped, and they themselves escaped the room where they were fighting the devil boss. They all learn that the theater is just like the other previous movies, basically stuck in some kind of soul jar from what we know, and Willard Wyler turns out that he knows, and he turns out to be a good guy, and he says that they have a lot of work to do and that they should begin, and it ends off with a cliffhanger, and I'm upset because I don't know if they'll ever continue this story again, and there's so many questions asked. So that's kind of it. There's way more to the story. There are audio pieces of Willard Wyler and his daughter. It's impressive because this, compared to Sledgehammer games, is way more detailed and resembles Treyarch Zombies storyline heavily, and that's pretty impressive. So getting all of those out of the way, let's talk about just the game mode in general and how it is in 2020. This again, as I mentioned, compared to both other iterations of Zombies, is slightly different after coming back to it. It's different because they actually updated the game as it went. It's not exactly the same as it was at the beginning. So as with Call of Duties nowadays, there are new weapons that get added to the game over time. What's cool about this is that in Infinite Warfare, they added the weapons to Zombies mode, which kept the game fresh even to this day, because there are new weapons that you can just come on and try out that you've never tried before in multiplayer. Another cool thing they added before and kept as a permanent game mode detail is that you can fight the bosses even by not completing the Easter egg. Now obviously this won't reward you with anything apart from just experiencing how it is if you never got to the bosses, but it's cool nonetheless because we've never had this before and it fits perfectly, as the bosses in the maps were all different in their own way. Of course you'd have to own each of the DLC maps to fight the bosses. Also, another highlight of coming back to this game is one that I love. It's the addition of celebrities, my favorite being from Zombies in Spaceland, David Hasselhoff. He's a DJ in the map, and by completing these crazy challenges from this robot called Neo, best boy by the way, you can get him and have him help you out around the map. You can do this in all of the maps by the way. Each of the maps have their own special celebrities, my favorite being David Hasselhoff and Kevin Smith, as I've already mentioned. The other ones don't really matter to me, not because they're women. I'm sorry, I don't want to discriminate. Jesus Christ, what have I done? And after completing the Easter egg of each map, you actually get to play as the celebrity when you come back. Anyway, there's also a super Easter egg where you, after completing, basically get Perkaholic in each map, a bunch of money, and you get to play as Willard Wyler with a cool knife. The game in 2020 is as fun as it was, and if you ever want to revisit it or buy it, I fully recommend, mainly for the zombies aspect, but the campaign is also pretty good, and I guess you can have fun on multiplayer if you try. But jetpacks. Who wants jetpacks? I don't want jetpacks. But anyway, as I mentioned, in 2020, the game is basically the same. As I've mentioned in my Black Ops 3 video, I realized why people don't make these, because they're basically the same thing. People usually make 2020 multiplayer maps because they do kind of change. They update some things. They get rid of glitches. They actually do that in Zombies. They get rid of glitches and stuff like that. So yeah, personally, I do really enjoy Infinite Warfare Zombies, and I fully recommend it if you've never tried it before. So that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully at this point now you have a good reason to subscribe. These take me a really long time, so if you enjoyed, be sure to like. It gives me that bit of hope that some people do enjoy my content, so I do hope I sounded better for most of you. I know my letter P, which is my P's, sound very strong. I'm gonna have to fix that. But yeah, the next Zombies in 2020 should be World War II. I'm gonna leave Advanced Warfare for last, just for fun. And yeah, bye, and see you in the next one whenever I decide to work on the next video and stuff like that. Bye. Mwah.